Well, thank you, everyone, and good evening again. And now we move to a study session with our amazing director from DPW, Mr. Dancy. The floor is yours. Yes.
All right. I was going to, I guess, give a little bit of history, and I figured my job in this situation is to try to convey to, I guess, 7 council members, corporate council, and the public a little bit of our ordinance regarding trees. So this kind of came about because Councilman Wenzel just has a lot of concerns with, as a lot of us do, a lot of concerns with just the process of city trees in the city, private trees, the costs associated with it, some of the issues that are coming in. Because I think for a lot of residents, right, our DPW handles a lot of phone calls regarding trees. We handle a lot of both city and private trees. We handle dangerous tree situations. We handle residents, business owners that just don't like trees in front of their house, or say they cause issues with sidewalks, say they cause issues with where they park their car. So that's how this study session came about, right? A couple council members just said, hey, let's look at the ordinance, let's update it, let's get some input from the supervisors, from myself, from the field crews, the individuals that answer a lot of the phones at DPW, and get a little bit of their expertise, look at some historical data. And like I said, I'm not the expert on writing ordinances, but this is the first step in having some open, honest discussion as to what I think are some recommendations, just from having conversations with different council members, having conversations with the mayor, current administration, previous administration, just for my year and a half here with the city. And I spent a decent amount of time over the last week or so reading, as I had time, the tree ordinance, and then mostly speaking with supervisors, speaking with field crews. And I put together a list of, looks like about 7 or 8 recommendations that I wanted to bring up for discussion that I think will at least get a lot of the wheels turning when it comes to both input from everybody if we do any public hearings or we feel like there's another study sessions needed. I did not have the time to put together a few other like PowerPoint aspects that I think will help people visualize it, but I want to present just some information as to the process and kind of where we're at with the tree ordinance. I know Council Chair put together some good information packet that I hope will kind of get disseminated to council members and a little bit of the public regarding kind of little overview on the city and where it's been and where it's going and kind of its current status. Mine's really just related to the process right now. So might be new for some people, might be a review for a lot of individuals. Right now, the kind of the 7 main things I really wanted to address, if we want to take notes or just open some discussion. I'll go through all 7 of these, and then Council Chair, with your permission, you just kind of moderate, mediate the meeting and move around for any questions. So right now, like I said, we're really separated into 2 separate things, right? We're going to focus primarily for this first half, at least, on city trees, trees on city properties, between the sidewalk and the street, trees on any city easements when it's related to businesses or different alleyways. And first step, right, any resident, business owner, tree right out in front of your property, you want it either removed, trim, you put in a request, you give a call to the city, you put it on City Works, send an email, whether it be to a council member, or if it gets filtered through me, or I do rely a lot on the supervisors to be the ones that investigate these. Anyway, the $65 permit application that when I spoke to the supervisors and the office staff, the city is losing money on this. It really should be, just based on the information that they provided to me, it really should be more in the $85 to $100 range, right? If somebody comes in, wants a city tree trimmed or removed, you figure that goes through, if you add in the administrative cost just for the investigative side of things, the initial phone call, the supervisor being able to go out to look into it, the amount of time the treasurer receives checks, processes it, make sure it goes in the proper accounts. When you got the finance department having to ensure that those go into the proper revenue accounts, you really are looking at, in order to kind of make it a break-even process, more in that $85 to $90 range. Like I said, the main goal of government, right, is to find a way where you're not losing money and or you're not making money in a sense, but you want to build up an account so that we can start a more robust planting program. So that was number one, was our $65 permit recommendation to hopefully look at it, increase it in the ordinance. I don't know if that's part of the ordinance or a fee schedule. Right?
It's a fee schedule, I think, right?
All right. The second right now, the tree planting fee right now is $350. It roughly costs us $600 as a city to plant trees. When you add in bidding it out, the cost of the trees usually in the $250 to $300 range. Then if you, it's something that I think is best served for the city's interest to bid out and contract out the physical planting of the trees and the staking and the care for the trees. If you try to require DPW people to do it, we don't have the staff, the knowledge, you run into liability issues. You'd rather put it on a contractor in the event some of the trees die or they don't provide the proper information to the homeowner. Mm-hmm. So just a recommendation that really should be in the $600 to $700 range. Some of these other ones I'm just going to mention, and if we feel like it's necessary for discussion, and whether or not it really should be included in the ordinance wording. Like I said, I'm not the ordinance expert, but that's kind of what I'm opening up for us is some of the sidewalk responsibilities. We do get a lot of calls. I know in the city, city trees particularly have caused a decent number of sidewalk issues. And in the ordinance, the way, looking out for the city's side of this process, it states, it probably could be more cleared up, that it states that even from a city tree, the maintenance and the safety of sidewalks really is placed on the homeowner in front of your house. That's part of owning property in a city, is you're responsible for a lot of these things. Just like you may be unaware, but you're responsible for water and sewer lines on your property and any type of maintenance of easements, whether it be alleys or sidewalks. But I know there is some language in there that as we open it up for discussion, I think just needs a little more clarity as to the fact that the homeowners really are responsible for a lot of this. There are I'm going to skip over 4 and 5 here. I got a little bit out in public and private trees that we can kind of open up, right? Because there should be a different process between the public and private trees. But I think some of these fees are, in my mind, a way for us to start to build up a program that has been so outdated that there's no money to do a replanting program. So like over the course of time, when you send out these canopy comparisons or some of the pictures as to before and after of some of the blocks, we're not the worst. We're right in the middle right now, but we want to be trending towards the upside of things, not the downside when it comes to a lot of our tree coverage. I know, so there are some lists of approved and do not plant trees, and we are having issues from the public works side of things of homeowners, individuals, and this is a little bit of working with the ordinance department too, planting non-approved trees and or, even whether they're on private property or city property. I know the last year or two, the city has not bid out and had a planting program because there hasn't been money funded to it. Increasing a lot of these fees actually would be able for us to build up an account where then we can go out for bid with expected quantities. Other than that, I guess the only other couple things, just so that the public's aware, I know speaking with the administration currently, I really think any type of widespread kind of moratorium on saying, hey, we're not going to cut down trees till we figure this out, I don't think it's the best option. A lot of these city trees, right from the city perspective, we're going out evaluating trees almost daily, whether it's the supervisors driving around the city, the guys snow plowing, working on catch basins and pipe repair, street sweeping. They are keeping a track on the relative dangers of certain city trees. But I think we really want to avoid going on kind of this blanket moratorium saying, hey, we're just not going to approve permits and there's nothing you can do until this is figured out at a better fee schedule. So I really want to avoid that. The plan right now is for us to go out to bid based on working with finance department to go out to bid on a tree planting program for this coming spring. We are trying to find ways to balance kind of the revenues that have come in from permits and replanting.
Can I
Go for it.
interrupt
Yeah.
real quick?
Mayor, go ahead.
Mayor, Director Dancy?
Yeah.
Just keep in mind also that we've just seen a huge, I just sat down with Plant Moran, and I think Brian is going to be on here today. We just got a huge influx of money from the state to our major and our local roads. And so we can actually use, aside from charging residents, which we should have been doing, because that's what the ordinance says. You charge a fee, and then you charge $350 if you remove a tree to be able to plant a new tree. And so I think it's
That's for
happened
city trees?
for all trees. If you
That's
take down a
city
tree, if you take down a tree in your backyard, you have to pay to plant a new tree.
No,
And-
it's- unless it's on city property.
No, guys, the ordinance states, if you remove a tree, you must plant a new tree. We have a tree funding plan. But what happened was, for too long, people were they were giving away these permits, not charging anybody the $350. And if they were, let's just say they were, I don't even want to say they were, it wasn't being put in a special fund saying this money is for the tree fund. So if it was put into the general fund for $350.
We were supposed to have a tree
We
fund.
have a tree fund.
Again, if you go through it, there's $0 in there. So either they weren't collecting for it, or they didn't put it in that tree fund line item.
Council, I mean, sorry, not council.
And you're right, we do have a tree fund to remove trees, not to plant trees. We don't have the plant tree fund being properly utilized.
But from my understanding, when we did this, that tree fund, anytime you took a tree down.
Correct.
Or planted a tree, money was supposed to go in that fund.
And I remember
And that's the way it
money being in
was.
there.
And I think
There
our
was
attorney
Let's take one by one,
will
please.
tell us that.
Yeah, and I want to tell you guys, that's how it was supposed to be used. I sat on this right here when we did this with Council Chair, former Chair Dave Abdullah, when he was on here. He was adamant that if you take off a tree anywhere on your property, either city property or your own property, you had to pay the $350. And I believe there's a couple of residents in here that almost did it, right? They had to take out the tree. They
Correct.
put $350 into a tree fund. It was supposed to go to planting new trees.
So where'd the money go?
Right, there was
Again,
money.
I don't know, but what I can tell you is, I think, now that we're bringing this up, and thank you to Councilman Wenzel, we're going to have to reevaluate these type of things so that we make sure that the $350 is to continue to serve and protect our community. Trees are a huge asset to the city. But if also there are dangerous trees, we can't tell people there's a moratorium and you can't take down your tree. That's not an answer. It's just not an answer. But I do believe, I agree. And there's actually a study shows that when I was working on the campaign trail, the more trees you have in a neighborhood, the less likely you're to have somebody speed through a neighborhood. Because when the trees grow, it actually makes it tighter. It makes like the roads feel tighter. When the trees are removed, it feels like an open lane. You actually want trees to help out with reckless driving in the community. It's crazy.
Council Chair? Council Chair?
I'm sorry, let's take this one.
So I have a few things. I don't think constitutionally you can force somebody if they want to move a tree off their private property to put another tree.
Not on their property. They have to plant it elsewhere, but they have to pay towards the tree fund.
I mean, if I remove a tree or somebody's doing an addition on their home, you can't force them to put another tree. That's number one. Number two is, the problem with the city that we have with the city, and it's an ongoing issue, is tree maintenance. Some of these trees have never been trimmed. They're not upkept. So when we have a resident wants to say, hey, this tree's dangerous, you obviously know about the litigation we're in regarding the tree that fell on us.
100%.
That fell on a house. Not every tree is a safe tree. Some of these trees have overgrown, the easement lot, the sidewalks are a trip hazard. It's also a liability to residents. So I understand the views of residents and everything in here, but we also, the tree fund and everything we have, the city does not maintain the trees. And we've done a very poor job doing that over the years. But you also can't hold residents by their neck saying, hey, if a resident complains it's city property and the city's not doing it and they do it, they've made the effort for the city to do it.
Yeah.
They're paying for that service. and
I'm
they're
with
not
you
doing
on
it.
that. I'm with you.
But you got sycamores throughout the city that are destroying homes, destroying sewer lines. Not every tree is a good tree in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm not against saying that we're cut down every tree in the city, but there's certain trees in certain neighborhoods and certain areas that need to be removed. You've seen how many cases we get with broken legs, broken ankles because of the sidewalks are laid.
Definitely, the city has a job. Councilwoman?
Yeah, when I left as council chair, there was a tree fund, there was money in it. what has happened to it? Because I know Ray was on council with me at the same time, and we discovered that fund because it was not a line item in the budget.
Correct.
But it was a fund that was kept separate for collecting money from trees that were cut down.
So,
And one more thing, Council Chair. I agree with Councilman Saab. You know, my backyard's my backyard. And, I mean, if I want to put a pool and there's a tree right in the middle of it, and I want to put a swimming pool in, who's to tell me I can't take that tree down and I got to pay somebody to take a tree down for a tree fund? It's my backyard, okay? Now, city trees are a different story. But throughout the years, we've always had somebody from DPW go out and say the tree's healthy. They end up cutting the tree down and it's rotten to the core. We don't have real tree experts to go out and look at a tree and say if it's good or not. We have seen trees that were cut, that said that they were healthy, then they were cut down and they were rotten.
yeah.
And it's dangerous. So the tree maintenance part is big key to this. We have trees that were planted 60 years ago, okay, that are now 60 feet tall, and they weren't the right trees. They weren't planted properly, okay? So what do? There's got to be a happy medium somewhere where we have dangerous trees that need to be taken down. I'm good with taking a tree down and planting a tree in front of that home again. Who picks up the cost? That's, again, a debate, okay?
Thank you, Councilman. Director, before I go, let me, Council, go ahead, please.
Yes, three quick points. One, Mr. Mr. Dancy had said something about the payments into the city tree fund. The amount is set by resolution of the city council, does not require an ordinance change. Two, the point that was raised by Council Chair Pro Tem Saab is a point that may need to be looked at. I mean, when we originally did this work, it was in 2008, there was some litigation involving either Canton Township or the city of Canton pertaining to requirements having to do with rehabilitating property for trees and things like that. That may need to be looked at, although, as Councilman Muscat said, certainly if it's in the city right-of-way, then we certainly could expect that there would be something along those lines. We have essentially a super easement, for lack of a better term, with respect to that. And then the third thing, yes, there was supposed to be a tree fund. It was supposed to be funded. Obviously, I do not know whatever ended up happening to that. You would probably need to talk to one of our many comptrollers over the years that we've ended up having. So that's all I have.
So I spoke with, if I may, I spoke with Marty, who is currently working back there. I don't know if he's on or not, but so money has been going in from tree permits into the tree revenue GL. I don't see a lot of those. I only see the expenditure side of things, right? Because my position, I'm looking at how to work on expenditures. The revenues really come through the treasurer's office and the finance department. And I've just started now, hopefully working to find a way to determine how much we have in revenues, move it over to expenses via budget amendment so we can actually get a program going. Because when you look at the expense account that I have right here, right, tree removal, 440,820, it's been budgeted zero. And like at that point, how am I, are you going to go out to bid with $0 allocated? So there has been, like, we issued 256 permits this year. And that was just from the supervisors letting us know how many came through our office. That's not to say all of them were paid into the treasurer's office. The treasurer would be the one to determine exactly how much money has come in and gone into that tree planting revenue account. So I think it's incorrect to say that there's the money is just like disappearing or there's no money in any tree fund. That revenue account should have money, which would be, if the treasurer's here later via emails or email to a group, the finance, the comptroller and the treasurer should be able to, when we start communicating as to what is actually available in that, that's kind of the plan for come February to be able to bid this out. So that money that's coming in from permits, the issue is, yeah, it's costing us more in the permit process and replanting of trees than we're bringing in. I mean, over the course of years, well before I got here and some of us have been here, consistently, you've hit a point where it needs to go the other direction.
Thank you, Director.
Yep.
Just going to move to Councilman Wenzel,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, thank you, Council Chair. I want three things. In the tree
Sorry, that's
ordinance
my work phone over
specifically regulated a certain size caliber tree to be put in and replaced. So, I mean, there was that, it had to be, couldn't have been just a small tree this tall, it had to be like 6-inch caliber or something like that. And I think there's a technology out there, I see DTE uses it on their telephone poles, they got a little thing, they go up to it and bam, the sound goes through and they can tell how, if it's hollow, if the telephone pole is rotted or anything like that. So there's technology to see what a tree is, you know, if a tree's hollow or rotted out inside. Real quickly, I want to read the resolution that I wrote. In the last paragraph, it means a lot. It says, Dearborn Heights once had the designation as Tree City, USA. Unfortunately, we can no longer brag about that honor. Whereas the city recently adopted a tree ordinance that allows trees to be removed in accordance with certain specifications and requirements. Whereas this ordinance allows residents to cut down trees on city property by merely obtaining a permit. Whereas many, if not most, situations, the trees are in good health. Whereas the tree replacement program is falling behind and due to lack of funding has not been in existence for over a year. Whereas there are many more trees being removed than originally anticipated. Whereas there was never an environmental impact study done on removal of trees, let alone removal of hundreds of trees. Therefore, this is a paragraph, last paragraph. Therefore, we are asking for an immediate halt on the removal of any trees and temporarily stop the issuing of any new tree removal permits and refund any permit fees that were paid where trees have not been removed yet. With the exception of trees that must be removed for construction purposes, for trees that have been damaged causing potential hazardous conditions, and trees that have died or are diseased. We believe that this ordinance should be looked at and rewritten, having input from professionals and residents.
Thank you.
So my original resolution said, construction, it doesn't allow for construction, I mean, it allows for construction, it allows for diseased trees and damaged trees.
I don't think we allow cutting trees for any other reason, though. It's only
Oh,
for
yeah.
construction.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we have taken down healthy trees because the homeowner paid for it, okay? But a tree, from my understanding, was supposed to be planted in its place.
Instead, yep.
Okay, that was my understanding on how it was supposed to be done, and I'm all for that. But to have someone tell me I can't cut a tree down in my backyard, and I have to pay a permit to cut it down, that's ridiculous.
I agree.
That's ridiculous, that's my home.
Council Chair.
Councilman, last comment.
So again, like us halting these trees down, we fall back down into the litigation of things with wind and storms and ice and everything else. A lot of these trees that these homeowners are cutting are either overgrown, sycamores, or trees that are literally half dead. I mean, I've been complaining to the city multiple times about certain trees around the city, and I mean, they're just a liability. I do agree any tree that comes down, one should be planted. But these trees are also, the amount of damage they're causing to homes on sewer lines. Mr. Dancy, I mean, we've been doing a lot of videoing in the city's infrastructure.
Yeah,
Roads
I
and
mean,
everything, and
we
that's
have,
the sidewalks. I mean,
yeah.
it's costing the city more in replacing sidewalks and lining sewer lines.
I mean, I guess I would, when it comes to, you and I disagree a little bit on the fact that sewer line services are owned by the resident, that I would argue if you got a 70-year-old sewer and you have tree roots growing into it, it's the fact that you don't have a viable sewer that should be lined. But that's kind of just an ongoing debate, right? Like, I don't think that's the city's responsibility because a homeowner's sewer line is faulty. But that's
So,
like,
so my question is, if this homeowner fixes the sewer line, and the main issue was the tree, it's just, well, why would I repair something the tree's gonna cause the same exact thing? when
well, if you
these
got
trees are just-
60-year-old sewer line crock and tree roots grow into it, that's due to a faulty sewer service that the homeowner owns. You go through and line it, cut out the roots and line it. I would argue that, I mean, it's a constant, our job is to look out for the city and city and
No, our job is
residents.
to look
But,
out for the residents and the safety of the residents too.
yeah, but to claim that the city is responsible for every
No,
private sewer line is.
but the city is responsible though on their end, when the sidewalk is lifted and somebody trips and gets injured, it's the city-owned property.
Sued.
Yeah,
we're not
the
taking into
ordinance does
consideration.
make it pretty clear that, I mean,
Homeowners is responsible.
I mean,
I
when you
understand, but
go
the
to
damage
end
comes from a
use-
city-owned tree.
it's, I mean, you can look into other cities
It's an
and townships.
oxymoron, guys. It
Yeah.
sucks. There's nothing a way around it. The tree's ours. It lifts up the sidewalk. When it lifts up the sidewalk,
But
it's
if,
on the
but
city.
if a resident is willing to pay
And I agree with you. If they're
to
willing to
remove it and
to-
fix a sidewalk
fix
and
it.
plant another tree, I'm all for it.
And I agree with you on that one. That's-
Thank you,
I
Mayor.
think
Thank
that's
you, sir.
non-negotiable.
I mean, it's gonna upset a lot of residents soon, once we get funding for grants to remove almost all 3,000
I
sycamore trees in
understand,
the
but they
city.
can just wait for the meeting.
30,000.
Mayor, thank you, everyone. One meeting, please. It seems like we need another study session for this.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of an ongoing.
Just for the
need
sake of
discussion.
time, I'm going to end this right now. We'll take 4 minutes break. We'll start our meeting. If anybody has a comment, they can say it about the trees. They can say it at the public comments when the meeting starts in 10 minutes. So let's take a 4 minutes break, and so we can start our meeting at 6 o'clock exactly.
You have a lot of people here for government class, is that it?
Recording stopped.
Who made those, Lawyer? Man, I got glitter everywhere.
You ain't getting, you're not getting mine until next night.
How's Vince doing? How's Vince?
Let me get a picture with all you guys. We'll take it outside.
I wanted to call him, but I said, let me. Oh, no, call him, my wife. Oh. No, because I started the meeting. You don't want any chocolate. I did. Solid cookies, each bag's $5.
I look a little sad.
Oh, we're taking a
He
picture
looks a
outside.
little sad. Yeah. I mean, the video you guys do is fine though. I'll take a look at it. Okay. Yeah.
But I'll,
I think Angela had like another time where she was like, if you guys can do it
whatever you want.
today, she had a different time.
Come in, let's do the cake first.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
You want to do another time then?
Let's do it now.
Oh, okay.
Did they clean the snow?
We can have all the council members back.
As soon as they come back, we can just do
Is
it.
everybody here? I'm sorry, can I have all the council members take a seat, please?
And it was the 9. Oh, I did get that.
Is Nancy here? Good evening, how are you?
Up front here, we're just trying to gather everything. We're gonna do it like in front of here. Yeah.
I love it. Try to
I don't know why they're clapping. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to arrange things. But I think we're gonna have it for the best way. Yeah.
that I don't know about? I know, it was funny, because I oh, geez, I got 7
Right here? Hey. Okay, sounds good. Let me know when you want to do it. So we get them before we open up?
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
Yeah, okay.
item and they all leave.
Hey, tell them to get away. That was very kind of you, by the way.
That's here.
Okay.
I don't.
I just need all the council members over here, please, for the audit meeting in the front.
Cardboard cutout for everyone.
Thank you for
They have like a robotic cardboard thing.
I got it from Holland.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
They're willing to waive any cost next fiscal year.
I just did that.
This is all, this is the company, this is Code Reds, this is Code Reds. City Plus, all of our platform that we already use. To enter.
Holiday meeting right now, so we're just getting everybody into the desk here.
Yes.
You're doing it separately.
But they never do.
Let me, this person walks right past in front of
Well, the ordinance is staying.
Well, the motion itself that we make today, I'm not sure. But there's no other section
Work on it, let's do this audit meetings. Come on.
Okay, they're gonna add.
Say,
But wait, before they do the agenda approval, just let's say what.
Think about where you want to go. I go anywhere.
Congratulations.
Mike, tell me the chair back here.
So if you guys.
But he's never come to the city council.
Mike, for sure.
All right, so I think we're good, yes. When you're ready.
From the Dearborn Heights City Council, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Must be nice. I used to stand there once upon a time, huh? I suppose. Can we give them a round of applause? Can we give the council a round of applause? Happy holidays. Randy.
Yeah.
A lot of shit. Oh my God, I'm gonna blow you up tonight. Yeah, maybe on my work. Hey, by the way, I just want to
Almost got it. You guys almost got it. One more guy.
yeah. I'm not on here. None of you.
One more try. Yeah, slower.
Yeah, yellow.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a peaceful New Year.
That was close enough.
Round of applause, high schoolers, a round of applause. I gotta go. I got a fucking fall.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Can I get the microphone?
Good job, Council Chair. Good job.
Thank you.
Happens every year.
It does.
Mayor, go through the chair.
Oh, dear.